left in his workroom was enough leather to make one last pair of shoes. That evening, Peter carefully cut up his precious leather and laid it aside for the morning, when he would sew them together. The sun rose the next morning, and Peter was ready to start work. But to his great surprise, an exquisitely crafted pair of shoes sat on his work table.
Exquisitely.
What magic,
Exquisitely.
said Cecilia, his wife. They quickly put the shoes in the shop window, for the holiday shopping season had just begun. As luck would have it, the shoes fitted the finicky Mrs. Sniggins perfectly, and she paid a generous sum for the fine fit. With the money, Peter went to buy more leather, enough for 2 more pairs. That evening, he once again set to work cutting his leather, and he left the pieces on the table when he went to bed. Hoping for a good design, he fell asleep dreaming of shoes. When he awoke early the next morning, he again found 2 finely crafted pairs of shoes before his eyes.
Wow.
Customers bought these up quickly.
아니 벨트 맸어
They were
근데?
masterpieces.
잘했어요.
Now
Masterpieces.
Peter could buy enough leather for 4 pairs of shoes.
4 pairs of shoes.
This magical business went on for some time,
Sometime.
and Schumacher's name became well known.
Well
The
known.
finest shoes in town.
Yeah.
These days, life was much better for Peter. and
Nice.
Cecilia.
Very good.
One day, Cecilia said, I wonder who's been helping us so much.
What?
Peter announced, tonight, we will hide in the workshop and see what goes on there. And so they did. At exactly midnight, 2 tiny elves tiptoed in and began to work, swiftly making the fine shoes. They were shabbily dressed and weren't even wearing shoes themselves.
Shabbily dressed.
Before daybreak, they had already dashed off, leaving several pairs of shoes ready
Dashed
for
off.
sale that day.
Wow.
Peter and Cecilia were grateful to these little elves
Thank you
and
so
worried about
much.
them working so hard in such
Oh.
cold weather.
Worry.
So Peter
Hey.
set to work making 2 tiny
따라하지 마요.
pairs of shoes,
똥꼬.
and Cecilia stitched 2 warm sets of clothing for each of them.
Oh, 2 sets of shoes.
On Christmas Eve, instead of leather pieces, they set the little shoes and clothes out and hid themselves again. At midnight,
Midnight.
elves popped in
Popped in.
and saw the new clothes.
New clothes.
In a flash,
Elvis.
they had them on their little
On
bodies.
their bodies.
They were so happy that
So
they
the-
laughed
Ah.
and chuckled and danced right out the window, never to be seen again.
Never to see it again.
Peter continued making shoes every day,
Every day.
and he and Cecilia lived a very happy and contented life for many years.
Many years.
As did the elves.
As to the elves. 근데 다른 거 좀 들어보자.
뭐라고요, 미스터 또?
다른 스토리 듣자. 다른 스토리.
내 동물지시야.
라이라 저번에 그 Little Ducklings 이거 싫었어?
싫어.
왜 싫어?
나 저거. 나 이거 눌러주세요. 아니 저거 말고. 아니 이쪽으로.
이쪽으로?
네 저거 아니 저거 말고.
이거?
아니
이거?
아니
이거?
이쪽 그리고 이쪽
이게 끝인데.
아니 이쪽
이쪽으로? 이쪽으로? 이쪽으로?
그리고
스탑!
이쪽 그리고
이거는 너무 어려워, 라이라. 이거는 너무 어려운 거야. 라이리한테는 아직 라이리가 이해가 못해. 어떤 거? 이거.
네.
Please visit LibriVox.org. The Tale of Henrietta Hen by Arthur Scott Bailey, Chapter 1, A Speckled Beauty.
Speckled Beauty.
Henrietta Hen thought highly of herself. Not only did she consider herself a speckled beauty, to use her own words,
좀 맵고
but she had
뷰티.
an excellent opinion of her own ways, her own ideas, and of her own belongings. Fat worm or a grub out of the ground, she did it with an air of pride, and she was almost sure to say, "Well, I'd like to see anybody else find a bigger one than that." Of course, it wouldn't really have pleased her at all to have one of her neighbors do better than she did. That was only her way of boasting that no one could beat her. If anyone happened to mention speckles, Henrietta Hen was certainly to speak of her own, claiming that they were the handsomest and most speckly to be found in Pleasant Valley. And if a person chanced to say anything about combs, Henrietta never failed to announce that hers was the reddest and most beautiful in the whole world. Nobody could ever find out how she knew that. She had never...
라이라 이거 좋아? 다른 거 들을까?
네.
그러면은 이걸 깔까?
네.
It's all about me. Written by Walker the Dog. Narrated by Neil Edgerton. License notes. Thank you for downloading this audiobook. This audiobook remains the copyrighted property of the author and may not be redistributed to others for commercial or non-commercial purposes. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please encourage your friends to download their own copy from Wacken's website or from their favourite authorised retailer. Do return to Bocken's website or to your favourite retailer to discover more books by Bocken. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1. Meet Bocken.
와우.
Hola! Hi, I'm Bocken. I'm a miniature schnauzer, which means that I am fun-loving, friendly, and very, very clever. Oh, and I love food. Yum, yum.
Yum yum.
Thank you for downloading my first ever audiobook. Anyway, my name is really Bohemian Stream On. That's something of a mouthful, as I'm sure you'll agree. Imagine Mum or Dad walking down the beach and shouting, "Come on, Bohemian Stream On! Time to go home!" No, it wouldn't really work, would it? Bohemian Stream On. Yes,
Although I'm constantly scruffy and occasionally covered in mud or sand or both, I'm actually a very posh dog with a rather spiffing family tree. But that's enough about me for now. Let me tell you about my family, friends, where we live. I've got lots to tell you. It would also be brilliant if you told me what kind of stories you would like to hear about and what things you think about myself and my family. I live on the Costa del Sol in southern Spain. Where it's lovely and warm. I live in an area called Atalaya, which is between popular Marbella and friendly Estepona. The weather is almost always splendid, so I can do what I love best all the time. Running on the beach, exploring the mountains, having fun with my friends, and sniffing out food. Ah, yes. I live with my mum and dad, who I love to bits. Mum is great at cuddling and feeding me, whilst Dad is brilliant for going on runs with, though he sometimes finds it hard to keep up with me. Hee hee. Chapter 2. Meet my mums. There's mums and there's mums, as I'm sure you'll agree. I'm very lucky because I have two. My doggy mum, Poppy, and my human mum, Cece. They are very different and they love me in very different ways. Poppy likes to show me she's still the boss of my kingdom. I just let her think that because it makes her feel good, but I'm really the boss. But Cece lets me just be me. I am the king of the castle, the garden, and obviously the kitchen. They both love me very much and are proud of me and of how I am growing up. That makes me feel all funny inside. You will hear loads more about my mums in my books. For the time being, let's get back to me. Yeah, hey. After all, you're reading this book because you want to get to know me. As I said, I'm a miniature schnauzer, and I'm 6.5 years old. Don't forget the half. That may sound a bit young for some of you, but the thing is, dog years are different to human years, so I'm pretty grown up. I get to do grown-up doggy things, but I'm not an old dog, and I can still play and run around a lot.
Wow.
You see, a dog's life really is the best of both worlds. Chapter 3. What are us miniature schnauzers like?